Hey guys, welcome to the Windows 8 series. This is tip number 12, adjusting app tiles. So with that of Windows 8, there's a new modern UI. We talked about navigating the basic user interface of it, but I just want to talk about briefly navigating or managing the actual tiles themselves and going a little bit more in depth about managing it within the modern UI. So hitting your Windows Start button, you go into this new modern UI, which is probably the biggest change to that of Windows 8. You have these tiles. These tiles are what allow you to go through and navigate. It's the substitute for the Start menu. So you have tiles for Internet Explorer, the Windows Store, SkyDrive, your camera, music, games, etc. Now, navigating these and organizing them, you can do a couple things here. So first off, you can of course, like I mentioned earlier in the very first video, you can click and drag. That's the common way you can navigate and rearrange a lot of these icons here. Now, each icon has its own row in each category. So you can see these little spacers right here. When you drag to a certain space, that's what creates its own category. So that's how you create your category like utilities. And as we mentioned before, we talked about how you can categorize these by simply hitting this minus button in the bottom right clicking on the actual application, and you can name the group like so. Then you can add a name to it like we did with utilities. Now this outer view is also useful for that of navigating. If you have tons of apps, this allows you to scroll through them. So it acts like a wall of applications. Now, obviously, if you have a touch device, this is a much more fluid of an interface to navigate. With the mouse, you're kind of just using the scroll wheel. It's very useful if you have tons of apps and they're all kind of going across here. Now, to adjust app size, you can right-click on any icon and choose to make it smaller, like so. So with most icons, you still get them what they're called live tiles. Live tiles update like the stock icon, and it just shrinks down and it shows you information. Again, you can right-click to make it larger if you want it more larger. Now it says you can also turn live tile off. What that means, if you don't want the tile constantly updating and changing, for example, like this Bing one, then you can easily change that or change the picture one or travel one, I should say, so that they're not, again, updating live, and it'll just stay stagnant. Like for example, like the games icon, it doesn't move. Now also, to uninstall an app, you simply right click it and you can uninstall it, or you can also choose to unpin it from the start menu. So there's a couple options with that. Also, going to the bottom here, you can go back and go to the bottom and go to all apps by right clicking at the very bottom. All apps will show you all of the applications within the tile interface. This is just a kind of a smaller way to view them. And this is how you can pin stuff from the start menu into your taskbar. So you can right click a tile and then set it to unpin from start. If it's not pinned to the start, then you can pin it to the start. So let's say you use, for example, one of these Windows utilities a lot. Let's say you use snipping tool. That's a tool to use to make screenshots. I can pin it to the taskbar, or I can pin it to the start. I can also choose to open it in a new window, run it as administrator, and open file location. Now, pinning it to the taskbar will pin it to the taskbar in the Windows desktop interface. Pinning it to the start will pin it to the modern UI interface. So if I say pin to start, you'll notice now when I go to the start menu, I have my snipping tool available here, which I can drag and adjust this tile as needed. Again, since it's an application, I can choose to run it right away as an administrator or open the file location. Opening the file location is useful if you want to find where the application is stored in. Opening in a new window will open it in a new window on the desktop interface. And for some applications, it's always useful to run them as an administrator. So this is just a little bit, again, on the tiles, on the tile interface, and how to navigate them and how to adjust some of the tiles here. Again, whether it's an app tile, a live tile, if you're resizing it, if you're just reorganizing the tiles, and how to browse the tiles in a little bit of a neater interface to get a general overview. So again, this is the new modern UI within Windows 8. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but with these tips, you can definitely tailor it to your liking. A lot more tips in the series. Be sure to check them out. Thanks for watching.